Okay, so we have a nice application flow going here as far as the login goes, login, logout. So now we want to be able to register. So before we get to the screen, we're going to do what we've been doing and start in our constants. So let's go to user constants, and I'm going to just copy these three here and paste these in, and let's change login to register. Okay, so we add those. Next thing we'll do is go to our reducer. So let's go to our user reducer, and I'm just going to copy the user login reducer, paste that here, and this is going to be the user register reducer. And as far as the state, it's going to be just empty for the initial state. Request, let's change this stuff here. So these will be register, and just get rid of the logout. So on success, it'll be loading false, and then we're going to have user info here as well that pertains to the registration, and that'll be the payload. And then if it fails, we'll have the error as the action payload. So really simple. We'll save that. Let's see what we got here. So we need to actually bring these constants in. Okay, let me just make sure those came in. Okay. So we'll save that. Let's go to our store.js, and let's add the user register reducer. So right here, we're going to bring in user register reducer and add it to our combine reducers. So user register, set that to user register reducer, save. And now in our user action, we want to create a register action. And I think what I'll do here is just copy the login. Copy the login, and I'm going to go down below logout, paste that in, and let's change this to register. Now this is going to take in a name, email, and password. And let's see, we want to dispatch our user register request. Let's auto import this, and then here this is going to be the same. We want application JSON. We're sending data. For the request, it's going to be a post request, but it's going to be just to API/users. Remember, that's where we created the route. And as far as what we want to pass in, we want name, email, and password. Down here for the success, it's going to be register success. And we're going to pass the data that we get in as the payload. Now, what I'd like to do is log the user in right away when they register. So I'm also going to dispatch user login success right after and pass the data in. Because remember, when we log in or when we register, we're getting the same thing back, the user data with the token. And we're also going to set it to set the local storage, because it's basically the same thing as logging in. We want the same effect. And then down here, we're just going to change this to register. Okay, let's save that. Let's check this out. Good, no errors. So now we have our register action. So let's go ahead and create the screen now. So under screens, let's create a new file called register screen.js. And what I'm going to do is copy the login screen, because there's a lot of similarities. So I'm going to just copy that and paste that in. We'll just kind of go through it. So up here, we're going to bring in most of this stuff, or all of this stuff rather, except we want to bring in the register action. And then let's change the name of the component to register screen. We want to make sure we change that down below. So register screen. And as far as the state, we're going to have email and password, but we're also going to have a name, set name, and we're going to have a confirm password as well. So let's say right here, this will be confirm password, set confirm password. And then I'm also going to add a message. and I'll show you why in a little bit. So message and set message, and this is going to be set to null by default. All right, now we want to get our user register state, so I'm going to change this, and this to user register. So we're going to get that, and what we want from that is the same stuff. It's going to be user info, because we have that in our user register state as well, and then loading and info. We're going to keep this redirect here, and we have our use effect. So this is where we're going to want to dispatch our register, but just for now, we'll just leave this as is for now. And I'm sorry, the submit handler is where we're going to want to dispatch register. And this use effect, yeah, I think that's fine. So let's just get rid of this, and I'll put a comment here and say dispatch register. Now we have to change a few things in the form. I'm going to change sign in to sign up, and we're going to keep the error and the message right here. That'll stay the same. Submit handler. The first form group, though, it's going to be the name. So let's copy that and paste that in, and let's change all of these to name. And we just want, let's change that, name, and this will be set name with an uppercase N, and that should do it. Now we also want to confirm password, so I'm going to copy this form group here of password, and for the control ID we'll just say confirm password, and type is going to be password, and the placeholder will say confirm password, the value, and what we want to set this, we want to set confirm password. All right, and then for this right here, let's say register, and we want to change this down here. Instead of new customer, we want to say have an account, and if they have an account, then they need to log in. So we're going to change this right here to login, and change this and this to login. All right, and I guess we have everything we need to dispatch the register. So we'll go up here and dispatch. So here we'll pass in. Actually, you know what? We want to check for the passwords first. So we'll just say register, and we pass in name, email, and password, but we want to have a check here. So let's do if password is not equal to the confirm password in the component state, then I'm going to call set message, and let's say passwords do not match. Okay, so that's where that message state comes in. Else, so if they do match, then we're going to go ahead and dispatch our register. So this set message will fill this message here, and down here right above error, let's just copy this. I'm going to say if message, then we want to show a message component, and we want to pass in here as the text the message. Okay, we'll save that. Let's go back. Let's go to, oh, we need to add the screen. So let's go over to app.js. And let's just copy this down. So this will be register screen. Register screen. And then I'll copy this down. / register. Register screen, save that, go back here, click register, and now here's our sign up form. So if I try to submit this, we get back the user validation failed, name is required, email is required. Now we could create a custom error handler to look for this particular error and we could reword it, but I think that's fine. It's clear. It just tells us that this stuff is required. So let's go ahead and register a user. I'm just going to register me. Now I want to try putting an email address that is already there. So we know that admin@example.com is already there. Let's also try to not match these passwords. Okay, so I get passwords do not match, and if they do match and that user already exists, we get that. So that gets sent through the state into the error, and then we output it here. So I'm going to change this now to Brad, which is a user that doesn't exist, and let's click register. And you can see over here the order of actions: register success, and then login success, because remember, in the register action we also dispatch login success, and we also set the user to local storage. So then we just came back to products and it called our products. So we're now logged in as Brad. So the register and login flow is complete. So now the next thing I want to do before we move on to the rest of the checkout process is I want to have a profile. So when we're logged in, we have that profile link. I want to be able to get the user details and put them in a form, and also I want to be able to submit the form and update the user details. So we're going to have to go to the back end to finish that, or to start that, I should say.